Full name, date of birth, please.
Ralph Frank Ortega.
Mr. Ortega, you were arrested yesterday, charged with aggravated assault, a felony, disorderly conduct by fighting, a misdemeanor, and threatening and intimidating, a misdemeanor. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You were also on felony probation when this is alleged to have occurred. Is it a similar incident that you're on probation for? I believe it is. If it's not your case, it's another.
I was on probation for armed robbery 11 years ago.
Okay.
I was just got released
wasn't anything to do with
POC
domestic
3
violence.
months ago.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's another case I have tonight. Anyway, the county attorney's office has requested that there be a $50,000 bond set. I setting a bond in the amount of $5,000 with conditions. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with the alleged victim or witnesses, and if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms. But you're on probation, and so the probation officer, because this is a term 1 violation, is requested that a probation violation also be a matter that's considered at this time. And I set a $250 bond on the probation violation aspect, and February 9th at 8:30. The Superior Court will be your revocation arraignment hearing on the probation violation matter. What did you want to say?
Say again?
What did you want to say?
Oh, what if I have the victim come post my bond herself? Would I just dismiss the case so I don't have to go the whole long road? Because I've been on this road again.
Listen, I don't know anything about that, and I don't. If that happens and you get out, you are the conditions that I've imposed about not returning to the scene of crime, or having contact with victims or witnesses, at least until your next court date, apply. Then, at that point, I would have her come for sure if it's a serious thing that you're proposing. But right now, as these are pretty standard conditions that we impose in all domestic violence type situations, and because we would not like to have a problem that can be avoided at least for a couple of weeks until your next court date. All right, so your order's right over there. All right, Joel Navarro, and then it will be Peter Aram. Full name, date of birth, please.
Joel Navarro.
All right, Mr. Navarro, you are here because you were arrested earlier today, charged with possession of dangerous drugs. That's a Class 4 felony. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You were also on felony probation when this is alleged to have occurred. What I'm going to do is release you on your own recognizance on the new charge. You are to be supervised by your adult probation officer. You must contact him or her within 72 hours of your release in this case and explain what's going on. Your next court date will be December 9th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. On the probation violation matter, because this is a Term 1 violation, your probation officer, as I said, must be notified within 72 hours of what's happened. And let me get to the end of this. I'm going to, what I did is I changed what I was getting. Yeah, okay, you're being released on your own recognizance on the probation violation matter also. So when you your probation officer, you just notify him or her that you're being released and you're on probation, you're on supervised release by them. All right, your next court date in the probation violation matter will be December 9th at 8:30. So you got two different dates. Probation violation, revocation, arraignment hearings always occur pretty early. All right, your orders are right over there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Over there. Peter Aram, and then it'll be, Lebrado Sanchez Landa. Full name, date of birth? Full name, date of birth?
Pete Aram Jr.
All right, you, sir, were arrested earlier today, charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance to appear in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, on December 16th at 8:30. Okay, and your order's right over there.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sanchez Landa, then it will be Gabriel Padilla. Full name, date of birth, please. Full name, date of birth?
Librado Sanchez Landa.
All right. What'd you say? All right. All right. You, sir, were arrested earlier today, charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6. Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. You're being released on what we call supervised release to be appear in Superior Court December 16th at 8:30. The orders that you get will have prominently displayed the pretrial services phone number. Within 2 or 3 days of your release, call them and touch base with them, all right? They're expecting a call. You hear me?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Do you have a question?
So I release today?
Sometime before the sun comes up, probably. And the release order has the phone number for pretrial services. Within 2 or 3 days of your release, call them, touch base with them. They expect that in all cases where they are, you're released on supervised release, all right?
Okay.
You have any questions?
No.
Okay, the order's right over there. Gabriel Padilla, and then it'll be Matthew Bazan.
Hello, Your Honor.
All right, full name, date of birth, please.
Gabriel Molinero Padilla.
All right, you were arrested yesterday, charged with, while being obviously under the influence, according to the police report, resisting arrest with physical force, a Class 6 felony, disorderly conduct by fighting, a misdemeanor, criminal damage, by defacement, a misdemeanor, and obstruction by refusing to give correct name to law enforcement. Pretrial services say that you are financially capable of hiring your own attorney. If that's not correct, at any subsequent court appearance, you can request appointment of counsel.
Okay.
I am releasing you on supervised release. You will be subject to electronic monitoring. You're not to return to the scene. This is from now until your next court date, okay? We put these in as a precaution. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, not to have contact with the alleged victim or witness, and if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, your next court date will be December 16th at 8:30 on downtown Phoenix Superior Court, and your order's right over what?
Okay. I would just had a question. What if my roommate on her own lets the courts know that it's okay for me to...
Well, if there's, I'll tell you what the problem is, and people do this all the time, and if there's no hassle and everybody gets together, that nobody knows probably, but if you go back and there's a problem and the police are called, you'll be jailed and you probably have to post a big bond, okay?
Yes, I understand.
So I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh.
And you can have her come to the next court date and talk to your attorney and the prosecutor. There is a Victims' Rights Committee, and I don't know if she's logged on with that, but she can talk to them, and maybe they can communicate with the prosecutor's office about modifying any orders that I enter tonight. But the orders that I enter tonight will, until the next court appearance, are in place, all right?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
There you go. Oh, there is a victim statement. Yeah. Well, hold on here. Let me get the victim statement up here. You know, was it just submitted? Because I don't see it here as part of the, let me,
Go to IE detail.
It right here? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Documents.
Documents.
Up.
Up.
Middle. Up. Middle. Up.
Okay, all right. All right, there is a victim statement, and I will, yes. Yes, I will read it to you because I want you to know how the victim feels about this before you leave, so you have an understanding. This will be a permanent part of the record. It usually is something that is part of the information I have without having to kind of look it up. Defendant harmed me emotionally by not respecting boundaries due to him being belligerently drunk. I returned home from work and I was just trying to watch a movie. The defendant and asked the defendant to give me peace or go to their room several times. The defendant became increasingly agitated and started making offensive comments and threats of harm towards me and anyone I were to have over to the apartment. I have severe PTSD, and this event was extremely triggering. How this has impacted me, these are questions that the answer, that was the question of what this did to them. This is how this crime has impacted me or my family. It's impacted me by making me fearful to come home from work because I don't know if I'll be dealing with someone who is drunk and angry and violent. The defendant often drinks and lies about drinking and then will not accept responsibility for any actions. I'm under emotional duress, and when the defendant is drunk around me and does not respect my boundaries or any house rules, I'm scared to live in the apartment I primarily own. When I am home, all I want to do is be left alone. What are you asking the court to do regarding any release? I'm seriously asking the court to place these conditions on the defendant. Defendant is not to be allowed back at that location, that 843 Longmore address upon release unless following the conditions that I put in place. Defendant cannot consume alcohol or any kind of being at the above address, no fighting verbally or physically, no threats or violence toward me or anyone, and full compliance with the house rules set by Kathy McGinty. I am prohibiting you from going back until the next court date. If she wants to come and say what I just read to you, that's fine, but yeah. I am asking that the defendant not be allowed to return to the address and unless they follow the conditions of release. Defendant is released. If defendant is released, these conditions have not been agreed to be put. Okay, if the defendant is released and these conditions have not been agreed to, it will put me under emotional distress. I read this as being until your first court appearance. You might have somebody communicate with her on your behalf, but and this McGinty person is a counselor, I take it?
Yes. She goes to school for.
Okay, well, and maybe it would be appropriate. It might not be inappropriate if you contact her just to communicate with the victim in this case. All right, but if you go back and there's a problem and the police are called, you're going to be in jail with a big bond.
Yeah, I understand.
The county attorney's office was asking for. Where am I here? Let's see. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if this is the one that they were asking for a big bond or not. I'm surprised if they weren't, but I didn't make a note of it yet. I got these towards the end before I just took the bench. Anyway, their order's right over there. Good luck.
So, but I am being released with a
You
monitor.
are being released without a bond being placed,
Okay.
but you're gonna be subject to electronic monitoring so they can make sure you don't go back to that location. And, the conditions that I imposed are contained on the docket, on the order that you get, all right?
Okay, yeah, I
Good luck.
feel terrible about all this.
All right, Matthew Bazan, and then it'll be Cecil Bourdet. Full name, date of birth, please.
Matthew Toby Bazan,
Right, Mr. Bazan, you have been charged by the county attorney's office by direct complaint with possession of narcotic drugs, a class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. This is alleged to have occurred on July 8th of this year. I am going to release you on supervised release. I appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your next court date will be December 16th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Your order's right over there, and the number for pretrial services is on the paperwork we give you. Within a few days of your release, call them and touch base with them, all right? There you go.
thank you.
Cecil Bourdet, and then it will be Paul Guy.
Hello, sir.
All right, full name, date of birth, please.
Cecile Bourdet.
All right, Mr. Bourdet, you were arrested earlier today and charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. I appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're also on felony release on 2 separate felony convictions, I think probably for drug. Your probation officer, this is what I'm going to do in your case. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on this new case, subject to being supervised by your probation officer under the probation of the. Within 72 hours, you must contact him or her and let them know what happened. Then, your next court date will be December 9th at 8:30, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, on the new arrest, on the probation violation matters. Your new court date will be December 9th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, in both cases, all right? Your order's right over there. And the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you on both cases, I think.
Sure.
Paul Guy, and then it'll be Pedro Barrera. Full name, date of birth, please.
My name is I.M., date of birth is 2.
All right. You were arrested, let's see. It's alleged that you committed on October 29th.
That who committed?
That you can argue all you want about this.
No, just curious.
No, that because this is unlawful flight from law enforcement, a class 5 felony. It's not unusual that police officers don't risk the lives of other people if they have enough information to locate this person, like a driver's license, a description of them, and they think anyway. So in this case, even though it's alleged to have occurred on October 29th, you were not arrested until yesterday or today.
Yeah, this morning.
All right. Well, you have a right to see a judicial officer within 24 hours of you being taken into custody. I'm going to, let me see here. I don't know if we appointed counsel or not. Let me look real quick. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, December 16th at 8:30. I don't know if we appointed counsel or not. If you didn't, I think you didn't talk to anybody there, and so they had no way of evaluating your financial status for the terms of appointing an attorney. If you can't afford to hire an attorney at your next court appearance, you can request appointment of counsel. They'll evaluate the case. All right, but your next court date in this matter, as I said, December 16th at 8:30.
Okay.
All right, right there.
Thank you.
Pedro Moreda, and then it'll be Anthony Toledo. Full name, date of birth?
Pedro Barreto, February.
All right, Mr. Moreda, you were arrested earlier today, charged with criminal damage, a misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct by fighting a misdemeanor. If you're entitled to have an attorney appointed to represent you, it'll be at the next court appearance. I'm releasing you on supervised release, even though these are misdemeanors. There's no way they can supervise you, probably, to appear in East Mesa Justice Court, December 18th at 9 a.m. Conditions of your release include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having contact with alleged victims or witnesses, and if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms. Do you understand? All right, your order's right over there. Anthony Toledo, well, then it'll be Cesar Ramirez. What's that?
Number 14.
Oh, okay. Full name, date of birth, please.
Anthony Aguilar, too.
All right, you, sir, were picked up earlier today. It's alleged that on September 21st of this year, you committed the offense of unlawful flight from law enforcement in a motor vehicle. The pretrial services says you're financially capable of hiring your own attorney. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance to appear December 16th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Your order's right over there. Okay, let me look at this real quick. Here we go. 1 second. Full name, date of birth?
Cesar Ramirez.
All right, Mr. Ramirez. Let me get back on your case. You were arrested earlier today, charged with aggravated domestic violence, a Class 5 felony, and disorderly conduct by fighting, a misdemeanor. Pretrial services says you're financially capable of hiring your attorney. You heard what I said previously. If that's not correct, request it in the future. In this case, you're being released on supervised release. Your next court date will be December 16th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. There is a victim's statement in this case, and the victim says that Cesar broke my bedroom window as he repeatedly knocked to get me to allow him to enter a home. I was upset. He hadn't come home from a night of drinking and wanted to show him I was setting boundaries. I wrongfully denied him entering his own home nonetheless, and damage to the window was unnecessary. Our son and I have been attending counseling aid in order to understand and overcoming domestic violence. Response to the question I'm asking the court to do regarding the defendant's possible release. Your Honor, Cesar is the only one I can rely on to assist in caring for our son, and the only one I can rely on to make ends meet financially. We've been together for 14 years, married for 12 years. The domestic violence began in 2017. I'm begging Cesar to get help for childhood trauma and substance abuse. It is my hope that my final attempt in opening Cesar's eyes have him are having him realize that he needs professional help so we can keep our family together. Domestic violence counseling and substance abuse counseling are necessary. I am releasing you, let me get back to where I was. On supervised release, to appear on we call supervised release. And there's a number to call the pretrial services and touch base with them. December 16th will be your next court date at 8:30. Everything I'm telling you is on the order you get. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with the alleged victims or witnesses until further order of the court. And if an order of protection is issued and you serve with a copy, you must comply with its terms.
Yes, sir.
Your order's right over there.
I will be released today?
You will be released before the sun comes up, maybe.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Oh, wait a minute. Is this, Cesar, hold on. I got another, I think this is, okay, you've got another case.
Me?
Yeah, come on back. It's alleged that on March 24th of this year, there was another act of domestic violence that they didn't file because they just, for whatever reason, this is in Surprise Municipal Court, but the police department provided the information to the officers, and so they filed this case in that happened on March 24th in Peoria Municipal Court. The next court date in this matter will be December 19th at 9 a.m. also.
Okay.
Apparently it was there. They didn't know if maybe things would work out.
Okay.
And then when this new case happened, they decided to go ahead and file it. There you go.
Okay. I still will be released today?
You still will be released tonight.
All right, thank you.